What's going on, guys? It's Scott here, aka Sydney MGTOW. So guys, today I wanted to chat to you about a little something I heard on the radio while I was at work. And it was actually an ad for a particular segment, and I heard it numerous times during the day advertising that particular segment. Some of you guys in Australia, if you do listen to the radio at work, you may very well have heard this as well, as it was on one of the major radio stations. Damn, I'm looking fresh today. So, what's going on, Danish monk? So there was basically two parts to the ad. There was one girl, then there was another girl. The first girl was saying something along the lines of, I've been with my boyfriend for 6 years, you know, we're really happy together. He says he loves me, but he doesn't want to get married. Funny that. What's going on, Godbrother and Avon? And so of course the lady in the segment was like, oh, that's not very nice, what's going on? Of course we all know what's going on. They don't. Flynn, what's going on, bro? Charlie, how you doing, man? And the second girl, she came on, and guys, just wanted to say that in this particular segment that I'm doing today, there are some lessons for both guys and girls. Yeah, exactly, Godbrother. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You heard it on Mikey and Emma on the Edge 96.1. That is the radio station that plays at work, guys. Smash that thumbs up if you're in the stream. I see 9 of you here. Also, about 75% of my viewers are non-subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, hit that subscribe button and the bell below for your daily dose of red pills. Now, as Godbrother will also know, the second part of this segment was a girl saying, oh, me and my boyfriend have been together for 5 years and we broke up, and then we'd been sleeping together for the last 6 months, and I would, in hope that we would be getting back together. And then she found out from a friend of hers that her ex that she'd been sleeping with for the last 6 months said that she found out she was basically known as the Wednesday bitch. And I'm like, you're only seeing him on Wednesdays 1 day a week. And like, if there's any women out there listening to this right now, what's going on, Awas Kamkwa? If there's any women listening to this right now, I need you to hear this and hear this clearly. If a dude's only seeing you once a week, it's one of two things. One, he's got other girls going on. Well, it's one of three things, actually. One, he's got other things going on, right? And he doesn't have time for you, and he's only got that time. Two, he's seeing other girls. Or three, he only wants to see you 1 day a week, even if he doesn't have anything else going on. All right, so I found out that my mum and my dad, when they actually met, they were in a relationship, but my dad only saw my mum once a week for about a year because he was doing his law degree. And it was basically her choice whether to go or stay. Obviously she stayed, because here I am, ginger and all, my mum's the redhead. Godbrother says, I used to be the brother I never had to all my female friends at church, but when a guy uses them as a booty call, all of a sudden all men are bastards. Exactly. What's going on, Brizzy boy? What's going on, JR Meadows? Bob? So yeah, guys, look, and there's something for all of us to take from this, right? Because look, I know that not every single one of you are going to go monk. I know that. I know that some of you at some stage may get married. I know that. I know that some of you may have kids. I know that. What's going on, Lee and Riff Magos? By the way, thank you for your email, Lee. I did get that. Got to do a story on that when I'm at home, just because since I finished the other job, I don't have two phones, so I can't read one and cast on the other. So thank you for your understanding on that. But yeah, look, there's a message for, like, there's lessons for both genders, right? There's lessons for men and women in what we heard. And it's the same, guys. Like, if you're dating a woman, right, and she's only seeing you 1 day a week, 100% she's riding dick on the side, right? unless you know for a fact, and I'm not saying she tells you, but like you literally know that she's at work because you're like dropping her there and picking her up from work, and even then it's like only 95% sure, right? You never know what goes on in those work hours. But I'd say most of the time it's if she's at work, physically at work, right? Not after hours while there's one other guy at work, it's probably pretty legit. Okay. But you know, don't let yourself get played, guys. You know, and that goes for women and men. You know, just look for the signs, look for the obvious red flags. You know, was it you, Lee? I had one of my subscribers the other day say that ask in the live stream if he should dump his girlfriend because there was some really sus shit going on. I'm pretty sure it was Lee, actually. And you know, everyone basically came to the consensus that yeah, he should, because she was doing things like dolling herself up and going to see 50 Shades of Grey with some other dude other than her boyfriend, looking all pretty, and you know, like there was shit going on. It came out. So you know, you got to look after yourselves, guys. You got to look after your heart. You got exactly, Brizzy boy, red flags. Flynn says you'd have to be a complete blue pill cuck to get married these days. But the thing is, Flynn, like, well, yeah, like I agree, right? You have to be a blue pill cuck. But if you don't know what we know, what I tell you every day, which is why, guys, subscribe to this channel right now and hit the bell. I want you to see this content, right? It saves you time and time again. You don't even know how much what I'm going to give you is going to save you in the future. Some of you do, some of you don't. But I want to make sure that all of you have the wisdom to know what I know, to be able to keep yourself safe in the way that I keep myself safe. And guys, look, you know, I had a discussion with someone the other day. She was a hopeless romantic and actually an amazing chick, right? So, you know, any dude who ends up with her is probably going to have a relatively happy life. You know, she disagrees with a lot of the stuff that's going on with the feminazis and whatnot. But, you know, as we know, time will tell with everything. And I guess I've got to put to her this. What can a man get from marriage that they cannot get from a relationship? Like, because, and I know that she doesn't want to get married either. Oh God, God Botherer says, do you ever listen to Mikey's single guy dating advice on the edge? You could learn how to win a woman's heart with his advice. Wow. Maybe God Botherer, maybe Mikey should rename himself Coach Eli. Smash that thumbs up, guys. I don't know. But yeah, look, there's literally nothing, there's no benefit for a guy to get married. Not one. Right? Other than to appease the woman who wants to get married. That's literally it. You know, even, you know, and look, my own sister is very religious. Love my sister. You know, we don't see eye to eye on everything, but, you know, I respect her views and worldview, and she largely respects mine, as long as I don't tell her too much about what I know, because we're not on the same page there, and that's okay. But she is of the view that, like, her understanding of the legal marital structure in Australia is that if you had kids, that you would actually have more rights to your children if you were married than if you weren't married. And this just shows like how indoctrinated a lot of people have become through the blue pill system. You know, it's just how it is. And you know, and I'm just going to agree to disagree with my sister on that, because I know the truth. Rev Mago says relationship advice to MGTOW is like an art gallery to a blind person. They just can't appreciate it no matter how hard you try. I added the last bit about appreciation because I thought it was apt. Charlie said, I heard the other day that the woman who also has access to men's super. Yeah, look, that's actually true, Charlie. With my own separation proceedings from my marriage, we have to actually declare how much superannuation each of us has. And especially if there's a child involved or if there's been a significant period of marriage, women can actually be entitled to some of your superannuation. They can be entitled to things such as maybe your government or military pension. They can be entitled to things such as, as we know, your assets. And also, for you guys who don't know, in America, like the majority of my followers in terms of breakdown from countries is American. So you guys know all about alimony. Alimony can in some states be lifetime alimony. Some states it can be just a much smaller portion of that. In Australia there is something called spousal support, typically granted to people who have been looking after the home, who have been not working, who have been supported by the husband and need to get back on their feet. But I believe that's limited to 2 years in Australia. Brizzy boy, one of my customers at the place that I used to work, he had been divorce raped once, and he was with his second wife, and the kids are grown up now, and they're going to uni, and one of them is a lawyer, and the mother was saying and the guy had been in the military for like 20 years, right? And was trying to take both his houses that he owned, plus take his military pension, plus his superannuation. And the dude was like 55 years old. He's got 10 years to retirement, and she wants to take everything from him. Even the kids are saying, Mum, you can't do that. Like, A, this is our father, and B, you can't do it. It doesn't actually work like that within the law, right? You can't take that much, right? You're not entitled to it, right? And you're not entitled to it under any legal framework, regardless of precedent. And yeah, she was like, no, I'm taking it. And it's like, how much of a CUN tango do you need to be to try to do that to a man? After he's given you everything, after you're already getting a house, after you've got your own income, after you've got your own superannuation, and you want to take everything from him, in addition to everything you have. Like, that's just cruel and nasty. But yet there's a lot of women out there like that who'll do that. Whenever you have a separation where there's a dispute over money, 90+% of the time, I know some of you guys are going to say 100%, but let's play devil's advocate, right? 90+% of the time, I would say easy, hard line, minimum. The woman is the one begging for more money, not the guy. Generally, the guy just wants a peaceful, amicable separation. No fighting, no anger, no angst, no upset, none of this turbulence. And the woman will just say, no, I want the money. Because that's what they've been given by all their boyfriends in the past. That's what they've been given by the husband. And look, it's kind of our faults too, right? Because if we're gonna give them all this money and provide for them and always just hand out, whenever they want money, hand it out, more money. I want a car, here's your car. I want a house, here's your house. I want a holiday, here's your holiday. That's learned behavior. That's neurology, right? And the people actually the women actually that have been treated in this way, start to get to learn that, oh, hang on, I want money, therefore I tell him I want money and I get money. Because that's how it's always worked up till now, right? And then they can't understand why it doesn't work that way this time around. Exactly, Brizzy boy. How to be turned into a walking ATM. And Lee Forrester says, my next door neighbor is living with a real bitch. I heard her through the wall. She shouted at him, wow, I earn more than you and you're the biggest dickhead I know. He's so browbeaten. Fucking bitch. You know what? If she earns more than him, he should divorce her and take her for what her assets and her money and spousal support. See how she likes those apples, right? And I know that he won't do that because men are typically better than that, right? Men just want out of a toxic relationship. They don't want out of the toxic relationship, but in on the partner's wallet, right? They just want out. Right? They just want peace. They just want harmony. And that's what MGTOW brings you. It brings you that peace and harmony. it brings you that absence of conflict. That's what it's all about, guys. And that's why a lot of you guys have gone MGTOW. I know that. So, Godmother said, I have a story, Sydney MGTOW, about clergyman's wife who took her ex-husband to the cleaners. I don't want to tell you too much on the net. We'll tell you in person if we ever meet. Wow. And guys, don't think that a prenup will save you in marriage. Prenups are routinely overthrown by the family courts because basically if the family court doesn't deem that it's favorable enough towards the woman, if they feel that it's too favorable in the man's favor, they will overturn it and they will nullify that prenup. So don't think that a prenup will protect you in marriage. And Lee says his next door neighbor is stuck at 50 with a 14-year-old kid. He's going nowhere, unfortunately. That's very sad. I'm sorry to hear that, Lee. You know, obviously not for you, but for him. And Bob, I have seen Married at First Sight. Terrible show. Worst show on the TV. Chaz, that's a first on my channel. Man, I have to say, I don't work out per se in terms of fitness, but on my mum's side of the family, all of her cousins and her dad and all of her brothers are big boys. My dad's a little bit more lanky, but he's built himself up a bit recently because he's been going to the gym. Even though he's around about 70, he's starting to, you know, fill out on the shoulders, does a lot of swimming. I have been, however, eating really healthy over the last 3 weeks. I've gone probably about 98% vegetarian. Most of my meals have been meat-free. I haven't gone vegan. I've been staying away from the soy. I know I've been staying away from the soy, but I have been eating lots of vegetables, lots of fruits, been making sure I take enough calories, and especially over the last week and a half, I have been like under the pump, working hard, and like, you know, my muscles are sort of really starting to build up. So I'm loving the feeling. Last 3 days last week were killing me, but today I just felt like lifting the same boxes were like a walk in the park compared to how they felt last week. So I hope that answers your question, Chaz. What else we got here? Riff says, in the aftermath of Me Too, relationships for men just aren't viable. Look, it is dangerous, you know, especially if you get someone who's narcissistic, which unfortunately a lot of women growing up now, not all of them, but a lot of them are, especially with social media, particularly in the younger generation. That's where it's most dangerous. Charlie says, try meat and green veggies and no carbs. It's a popular diet. Might check that out. Just screenshotting that so I can grab that for later. Thanks, Chaz. Appreciate it, man. Flynn says, if it wasn't for my relationships, I would own at least 5 houses. Now I'm in a share house. Fuck. See, and this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, you cannot. For those of you who are going to insist on being in a relationship, I respect that choice. Okay, it's your choice entirely, and I'm not going to go dating coach on you. But all I am going to say is that if you do get into a relationship with somebody else, they must earn on a similar level as you. A lot of women are earning a lot of money now. They must earn on a similar level as you. Be respectful, admire you, because if they don't admire you, then they're going to look down on you, and if they look down on you, then they're going to subjugate you. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is, and I wish that I wasn't so skeptical about things, but I've seen too much and I know too much. Sorry guys, just had to get in front of that line of traffic. Charlie says, you're an idiot, I don't respect bad behavior. What do you mean by that, Charlie? People can make their free choices. But if they're going to make choices that I don't suggest or I don't think is a good idea, then I would urge caution. And you know, as I said, not everyone's going to avoid relationships. There are going to be some people that want to get into a relationship, right? That, you know, they're torn between MGTOW and being in a relationship. So, AP says, I'm a young professional. I got invited to a young professionals thing. Invite 90% women, too late, the horse is bolted. Brizzy Boy says, I'm I'm of pit of deep depression and fighting like hell to use my mind to get back to the surface with no drugs, but MGTOW is a massive help. Thanks to you, man. Brizzy boy, I'd like you to send me an email, brother. I'd like to talk to you on the phone. I'd love to have a chat with you and help give you a bit of a fresh perspective, man. Big love to Brizzy boy. He's a great bloke. He actually, guys, if you want to check out some of my MGTOW merchandise, go to MGTOWmerch.com. Brizzy boy actually bought one of my MGTOW mugs. It's pretty cool. And Ben M Vlogcast says, be in a relationship. Okay, up to you, your choice. MGTOW says, Mike the MGTOW dropped a video talking about how women hate men who have standards. It seems it's why women target male spaces. They don't want men discussing what type of men they should be after. Yeah, and look, this is the thing. Women have been told by so many, especially by the mainstream media, and women have, as a collective, been told, you're beautiful as you are. You're perfect just the way you are. You don't need to change for anybody. And it's like, well, okay, you don't need to change for anybody, but if you want to choose to make yourself more attractive to the opposite sex, to the higher value males, if you want to be more appealing to people at a higher tier, then you do need to change yourselves. Right? And it doesn't need to be to your own detriment. You can actually change yourselves positively. Benefit yourself while you do it. For any ladies listening, benefit yourself while you do it. Right? Stop being such narcissists. It's not all about you. It has to be a mutual arrangement. If you're going to be in a relationship, it has to be mutual. And the moment you lose that balance is the moment the relationship is dead in the water. Chaz7 says, what's next for you, Sydney, after the red pill? That's a really good question, Chaz. I've got a lot of things that I'd like to do. I guess time will tell. Sorry guys, just reading this while I'm stopped. So MGTOW says, women lose respect so easily. If you get hurt being a stunt man, a woman will use that to divorce you. They have no loyalty. Guys, let me tell you a little story. I used to date a girl, her name was Yvette, and basically what happened with Yvette was I didn't want to, she was a little bit of a bogan, a little bit rough around the edges, but I was enjoying the thing that I had going with her, but I didn't want to commit to something serious. So when she basically put the hard word on me to commit to something serious, I said no, right? I basically said that's not something I want, right? She wasn't someone at the time when I was still blue pill that I could see bringing home to my parents. So I said no. So she went off and dated another guy called Scott, who also had a tattoo on his right shoulder blade, who also rode a motorbike, as I did. And it was about a year and a bit, and she ended up basically getting pretty much treated like shit and being really disrespected by this guy. So I get a phone call. She's crying on the phone, crying her eyes out. She's like, oh, are you busy? I don't want to interrupt you. I was like, no. And like I was with friends, but I was like, no, it's okay. It's okay. What's wrong? Are you all right? Being the simp that I was, being the blue pill cuck that I was. And of course fucking white knight to the rescue, right? And look at me, white, see the color of the back of the hand? This color, knight to the rescue, white knight. That's what I was. Not proud to admit it, but that is what it is. I'm calling the facts as I see it. So white knight to the rescue, of course. And hang on a second, should be turning left here maybe. So yeah, white knight to the rescue. Went and picked her up, spent time with her, made her feel better. Then I went and then we were chatting for a little bit, and probably after about a week and a half, she said, oh, so, like, since we started spending so much time with each other again, should we start having sex again? And I was like, oh, okay. Straight monkey branch. That's cool. I'm going to take advantage of this. So I did. And the next thing after that was that we started spending time together. We started going for motorbike rides together. Simp boy over here bought her a fucking helmet. Spent hundreds of dollars on a helmet for her. Whenever she wanted to go on a motorbike ride, I would go pick her up on the bike, take her for a ride. We used to go riding almost every night. And then I had a motorbike accident and I broke my foot. And I couldn't walk for 2.5 months. I hadn't even gotten out of the hospital and already she was complaining that she makes so much effort and she's such a good girlfriend, and that, you know, I don't even appreciate her. And then, you know, I started to get better, and, you know, I couldn't go out and, you know, go to dinner and go for walks down by the harbor. Couldn't do all this stuff because, you know, I'm on freaking crutches, right? I can barely walk, can barely get to the toilet to take a shit. And she wants to go out to the harbor, you know? And that's cool. Like, I get that she wants to go out to the harbor, but at the same time, I kind of need to be able to move properly to be able to do these things with her. Anyway, by the time I was getting close to normal walking again, she was monkey branching onto the next guy. She's now got 2 kids to him and is married to him. And she monkey branched because he was a scuba instructor. She wanted to learn how to scuba dive. She wanted to learn how to scuba dive. Wasn't that just nice? So guys, that's what happens if you hurt yourself, or whatever it is that's attracted you to them to you. The moment you lose that, they will start to lose interest and they will move on to the next person. Right? And that's not societal. That's neurological. That is the nature. And I'm not mad about it. At the time I was a little bit, what the fuck? But, you know, I basically went, okay, well, that's what it is. That's what it is. I can't change it. I may as well move on, right? And that's what I did. So, yeah, Karama Mikta says you won in the end. Look, I did. You know, the sum of all my past experiences is basically where I am right now and who I am. And I wouldn't be here for you guys right now if I hadn't had all the experiences I've had in the past. Godbotherer says Christian women are secret sluts. So look, a lot of them are, a lot of them aren't. I'll tell you a little bit about an experience with a Christian girl that I met when I was working in a store. Like, she was super flirtatious with me and always giving me the signs. And then when things started to get to the crunch and, you know, it looked like I was going to seal the deal, she's like, oh, you know, I'm just, you know, trying to change. You know, I pretty much found out she used to be a little hoe bag. And she was a church girl. She used to be like a massive slut, you know, and like, that's her choice. That's okay. I'm not shaming her for that. But knowing that, I wouldn't want to date her even if she did want to have sex with me. Well, actually I did at the time because, as I said, I was a blue pill cock. But now, if I found out the same thing, I wouldn't even be interested to begin with, to be honest. And yeah, Flynn says hypergamy in its finest with regards to the Yvette story. It's exactly what it is. Godbotherer says, I've been to lots of Hillsong and Balcombe Hills, lots of born again virgins and closet sluts. Look, you know, look, guys, women and guys love sex, period. Even if you believe you're a religious person, you still love sex, right? Let's not pretend like being religious is going to stop you from wanting sex. So, Charlie Brown says, how rude of you not entertaining her and you being injured. It's like you hurt yourself on purpose, you scumbag. Yep, pretty much. I mean, look, there'd be some women out there who would actually blame the guy for getting hurt and actually accuse them of getting hurt to avoid going out with them. There are some people that are that delusional. Fortunately, people that delusional are in the minority, in my view, but there are still a lot of them. Hang on, so MGTOW says, but they think they can control the influence that men have on each other. How nonsensical is that? I mean, how scary is it? Yeah, look, they do think that they control the influence men have on each other, but they can't. Godbotherer says, well, good Christians are meant to say that sex for marriage. The hypocrisy of Hillsong, they forgive the slut, man whore, and shame the Friday Arvo beer drinker. What do you do? The reason I don't go to church. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in for your daily dose of red pills. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Bang the bell next to it so you can get all the notifications of my daily videos where I drop my red pills to all of you wonderful men. And if you feel like donating, feel free to do so via Patreon, PayPal, or crypto in the links below. Check me out on Instagram. Mine's, notice when I did mention that the other day, I've got a lot more followers and got some engagement, so that was cool. I've got some good posts on there. I do plan to become more active on there as well. Alright, man, I'm out of here. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate you all. I look forward to dropping the daily red pill tomorrow. Peace.